Your intelligence is not the problem. Your strategy may not even be the problem. Your emotions might just be where your problems lie. And your emotions can definitely limit your growth. Now, as a woman recording this, I am very aware about what they say about women, that women are emotional beings. And there is a lot of truth to that. But have you seen when men are making emotional decisions? Because it comes off as ego as well. So we all, whether male or female, we all deal with our emotions. But how we deal with them and how they show up in our leadership, how they show up in our businesses, how they show up in our jobs is what matters. Now, when you make business decisions and you make them from a stance of emotion, what happens is you sometimes make bad decisions, sometimes you're erratic, sometimes you get into relationships, business relationships, work relationships, personal relationships that you shouldn't get into, and sometimes you exit them. Now, we talk about being triggered, and all of us have our triggers, and triggers are linked to our emotions. I'm no psychologist, but I can tell you when I'm triggered, I can be either happy or mad or whatever it is. But there are things that trigger us. Now, we may not be able to control those triggers. We may not even be able to control who triggers us. We may not be able to control when those triggers happen, but we definitely can control how we respond to those triggers. We can choose to be calm. We can choose to be level headed. We can choose to play devil's advocate. We can choose to go all crazy. We can choose to harm ourselves even in that situation. And I'm not really talking about physical harm. I'm talking about harming our business or harming our jobs. So it's very important that when it comes to our business, when it comes to growing as a business person, growing as a leader, we must check our emotions. We need to keep them in check. How we respond matters. When we respond matters. And I find sometimes that people say, well, even when that triggered me in that business setting or whatever setting it is, I did not respond. And then I just reacted in a different way. And that different way may have been out of ego. That different way may have been I just cut off the relationship. That different way may be that I just get even more involved in a place that I shouldn't get involved in. We are all human beings. Emotions are part of what makes us human beings. We are not rocks, we are not sticks, we're not mountains. We all have feelings. And yes, those feelings can be hurt in the best of situations and in the best of circumstances. But we cannot lose focus of what we are doing at any point in time by letting our emotions guide us. Now, on a personal note, sometimes I've been accused of coming off as cold. Go figure. Yes, but it's all in the way that I deal with decisions. That's how I make decisions. That's how whether it's personal or with work. Sometimes I retreat into myself to talk to myself, and when I'm in that moment when I'm talking to myself, I kind of tune everybody else out. And it's a coping mechanism, it's a survival mechanism, it's a decision making mechanism, but it's me, it's mine, and I really own it. But even when we make decisions, we have to be very careful. And I even say to myself that I can come off as decisive, but I shouldn't come off as cold. And that's something that I'm working on as a leader. I can be, honest with you. Because if I'm not honest with you and I'm busy recording these videos and telling you, don't be this, be that, then it comes to us as if I'm perfect. And I'm by no means perfect. None of us are. We are working towards perfection. And it's that constant work that we put into ourselves that make us better leaders, that make us better business people, that make us better employees. But lashing out of anger, lashing out emotionally in meetings, lashing out in business decisions, lashing out at customers. I have seen people who scold their customers. Oh my gracious God. They scold their clients. How dare you do that? You do not scold a customer. You do not lash out at a client. You want their money, don't you? How do you think you can lash out at a client or a customer and keep that business? What does that say about you, your person, your business, and even those around you? You give yourself a bad name and you give people a bad name. Now, whether you're male or female, we all have emotions. But let me tell you something. No matter how intelligent you are, no matter the kind of strategy you might have put in place or that you're planning to put in place, if you do not have control of your emotions, you will stagnate. You will get stuck. I've been talking about getting unstuck for a while, but your emotions can actually keep you stuck because you're not responding in the right way. Now, if you don't know how to respond in the right way, maybe you need to read more books. Maybe you need to listen to more psychology podcasts. I don't know what you need to do, but you need to do you. And yes, I do know what you need to do. You need to actually put some work into it. That came out the wrong way. I do know what you need to do. You need to put some work into it. You need to put some work into yourself. So definitely read more. Definitely listen to more beneficial podcasts. There are a lot of podcasts that are entertaining. Some of them are entertaining and some of them are educational. So listen to a lot more educational podcasts. Expose yourself to the right people who will put you in the right mental space because all of this affects your thinking. It's a whole mindset thing. And let me tell you something. If you feel that everybody is insulting you, you're going to be insulted by everybody, even when they are not insulting you. And that plays to your emotions, and that plays into your business, it plays into your life, it plays into everywhere else. So, your intelligence might not be the problem. You might be very intelligent, but that might not be the problem. Your strategy might not be the problem, but please, can we get a hold of that emotion so that when we go out into the world, we are very fruitful, we multiply, and we succeed. All right. I'm going to see you on the next video. Bye.